Hi there, Limis. Welcome back to When in Doubt, Factor It Out. Today we are diving into factorization part 3, and that is factorizing quadratic trinomials. Let's get into it. So in today's lesson, we'll be learning how to factorize trinomials. So what are quadratic trinomials? So a quadratic trinomial is a mathematical expression with three terms. So this is a standard format. It's x squared plus bx plus c. So this is your constant, and then your b will be the coefficient, so the number that is before the variable, right? The x is our variable, and then you've got a squared value or a variable. So this is the standard of a trinomial. A trinomial usually looks like this. It's got a variable. The first term is usually a variable that is squared, and then you've got your coefficient and your other variable, and then you've got a constant. So this is an example of a trinomial. So this is x squared plus 5x plus 6. You've got your constant there, your middle term, and your first term. So what we're going to be learning today is how to factorize a trinomial, something that looks like this. So in order to factorize trinomials, all you have to do is find two numbers, and these numbers must multiply to give you the constant term. Remember, that's the third term, right? That's the single number without a variable. And at the same time, those two numbers have to add up to give you the middle term. Now you're probably thinking, huh? What did you just say? Okay, but let's get into it. So here's an example. X squared plus 7x plus 6. Step 1, we need to look at the constant and think about which two numbers we can multiply to get the constant. So the constant is 6, right? I'm thinking 3 and 2. I hope you were thinking the same thing. So we've got 3 and 2. 3 and 2 gives us 6, but 6 and 1 also gives us 6. So if we multiply 6 by 1, we get 6. We multiply 3 by 2, we get 6 as well. So we've got two sets of numbers that can give us 6, right? But step 2, we need to look at the combination we came up with. So we had 6 and 1, and we had 3 and 2. So we need to look at those two sets of numbers and decide which numbers will give us the middle term if we add or subtract them. Okay, this is what I mean. Here's the middle term. It's 7x, but let's look at the 7, right? 6 and 1. If I add 6 and 1, it's going to give me 7. So that checks out, right? But 3 and 2 is not going to give me 7. If I add 3 and 2, it's going to give me 5. It's not going to give me 7. So the numbers we're going to use are 6 and 1, because 6 plus 1 is 7. So it's the middle term. Okay, stay with me. So step 3, we add the chosen numbers in two brackets. Okay, so our answer here is then x plus 1 and x plus 6. If you remember in part 2, well, in part 1 and in part 2, we use brackets. Usually when we're factorizing, we factorize the numbers, and at the end of the day, they will be in brackets. Okay, so our numbers that we've chosen here are 6 and 1, because 6 and 1 adds up to give us the middle term, but when we multiply it, it gives us the constant as well. All right? So I want to make it a little bit more practical, okay? So x squared plus 7x, okay? We've got our constant here. First thing we do, we find two numbers that will give us the 6 if we multiply them. So we've got, okay, 6 and 1, 6 times 1 will give me 6. Okay, let me think. Okay, there's 3 and 2 as well. That's going to give me 6, all right? So which of these two numbers are going to give me 7 if I add or subtract them, okay? 6 and 1, 6 plus 1 is in fact 7. So these two numbers are going to go into the brackets, because 3 and 2, it just doesn't work. So we have to cancel that, okay? And then that's why our answer then becomes x plus 1 and x plus 6. And remember, if we distribute them, we get the exact same thing. Plus 6x plus x plus x, and then we get x squared is equal, x squared plus 7x plus 6. right back where we started. So this is how we factorize trinomials. So let's take a look at another example. Here we've got x squared minus 9x plus 20. All right, so how do we go about this? Step one, we look at the constant. Our constant is 20. And think about which two numbers we can multiply to get the constant. So if we have 20, we can 5 times 4 is already 20. We have 20 times 1, that can also give us 20. We have 10 times 2, that can also give us 20. So you think about all your possible outcomes. Remember, with trinomials, it's a trial and error. When you're trying to find your numbers, it's a trial and error. It's a little bit of a mind game, okay? So we've got 5 and 4. So I didn't add all the numbers, but we have 5 and 4, we have 20 and 1, we've got 10 and 2, okay? And then we look at the combinations we came up with and decide which numbers will give the middle term if we add or subtract it, okay? I've already given you the answer. It's 5 and 4, because 10 and 2 is not going to give us 9. What else was there? 5 and 4, 20 and 1 is not going to give us this 9. It's only 5 and 4, okay? If we add 5 by 4, if we add 5 and 4, we get 9. However, we need to pay attention to the signs, all right? Can you see that this is actually minus 9? So it's not just the 9 on its own, it's minus 9. And this 20 is positive, all right? So what I'm trying to say here is the combination of numbers that we have, the two numbers need to give us exactly minus 9 and give us exactly plus 20. So if I say, in order for me to get a positive 20 using this 5 and 4, yes, 5 times 4 will give me a positive 20, but 5 and 4 won't give me minus 9, because 5 minus 4 is 1, and 5 plus 4 is 9, but it's positive 9, it's not minus 9. But minus 5 minus 4 is going to give me minus 9, and minus 5 times minus 4 is going to give me a positive. Does that make sense? So we add the chosen number in brackets. Now we have x minus 5 and we've got x minus 4. I hope this makes sense, because the reason we had to make the 5 and the 4, we had to change the signs there, we had to make them minus 5 and minus 4 is because minus 5 minus 4 is minus 9. We need to have two numbers that are the same, that will simultaneously give us 20 if we multiply them, and also give us minus 9, which is the middle term, if we add or subtract them. And sometimes when we have to factorize trinomials, the coefficient of the squared variable is not always going to be 1. In the previous examples, we had x squared plus 5x minus 10, but in this case, we've got a 2 in front of the x squared, so it's the coefficient. In the past examples that we did, we had 1 as the coefficient, but now it's 2. So what do we do in this case? Now, it's very different in this case, so you will have to pay attention. Let's get into it. So when you have a case like this, to make it easier for yourself, because you're so used to having, 1 as the coefficient of x squared, you can just simply factorize, okay? So let's take a look at this. We can factorize this. We can take out the highest common factor, which is 2, correct? So we're left with x squared plus 5x minus 14. And this is what we have. So now we have our trinomial and we just have a 2 on the side, right? We're still keeping our 2 because it's still part of the equation, but we still want to have our brackets over there. Then we go back to the way that we had been doing it. So we have our constant there, which is 14. We need to find two numbers that are going to give us 14 if we multiply them, or if we add or subtract them, they also have to give us 5. So now we need to start thinking. 14 times 1 will give me 14. Okay, will give me 14. So 14 and 1. And then we have 7 and 2. That will give us 14, correct? What other numbers can we add here? What other numbers can we use? So far, this is all that we can come up with, correct? And which of these two combinations, so 14 and 1, if we go 14 minus 1, we get 13. If we go 14 plus 1, we get 15. So it's not going to give us that 5, right? But 7 and 2, if I take 7 and I subtract it by 2, I will get 5. So these are the numbers that we use. It's 7 and 2. But we also need to watch out for our signs, right? So this is a minus 14, correct? So this has to be a plus 7 and a minus 2, because it's 7 minus 2 that gives us a positive 5. And 7 times minus 2 will also give us a minus 14. So these are the numbers that we use. So then we've got x, our 7 must be positive, and our 2 must be negative, because if it's not negative, we won't get that plus 5 that we need. And this is our answer. X plus 7, x minus 2. We need to watch out for the signs. Let's take a look at another example. Okay, so we start by factorizing. We can see that our coefficient is not 1, it's 6. So let's factorize it. Take out the highest common factor. We've got x squared plus 2x minus 3. All right, and then all we have to do is just factorize this trinomial. Okay, brackets. Now we've got our constant. Our constant is minus 3. Okay, and I'm thinking, okay, 3 times 1, 3 and 1 is going to give me 3. What else? That's actually it. That's all. And then we think, okay, if I take 3 and 1, what do I have to do in order to get 2? I have to go 3 minus 1 in order to get my positive 2, okay? And this works out because 3 times negative 1 is going to give me my minus 3, which is that constant, okay? So my 3 is going to be positive and my 1 has to be negative. So it's going to be x plus 3 and x minus 1. And that is our answer. Let's take a look at another example. Again, we factorize. 5 is the highest common factor here, plus 2x minus 3. And then, again, we take a look at our 3. We've got 3 and 1, because if we multiply that, and then we've got a 2 there. So in order for us to get this positive 2 using these two numbers, we need to go 3 minus 1. That gives us a positive 2. And that works out because 3 times minus 1 also gives us a minus 3. So my 3 has to be positive here. My 1 has to be negative. And then my answer is x plus 3 and x minus 1. As simple as that. Thank you so much for tuning in, Limis. We've reached the end of our lesson. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Comment if you have any questions or if you need any assistance. Reach out and I will be available to help. Until next time. Bye.